Welcome to What the Tech, the show that cuts right through the hype to give you the analysis that actually matters. So let's jump right in with a massive contradiction. On paper, you'd think the US economy is absolutely killing it. Tech is roaring, Wall Street's hitting new highs, but that's not even half the story. For almost half the country, it feels like a full-blown recession. The big national numbers, they're hiding a really dangerous divide. So billionaire investor Ray Dalio chimes in, saying that looking at the national average is a huge mistake. Now, he's got this whole diagnosis for what's going on, but as we're going to see, his analysis conveniently, and I mean very conveniently, leaves out the most important parts. So today, we're tearing down his argument and showing you the powerful interests it protects. Okay, so let's dig into what Dalio's actually saying. His core claim is that America has become dangerously dependent on a tiny, tiny fraction of its population. He sees it as this whole system just teetering on the edge. He breaks it down into this three-tiered economy. Right at the top, you've got the 1%. Think of them as the leaders in the AI world and so on. Then you've got about 10% of people who support them. And then you've got everybody else, the bottom 60%, who he argues are just getting left further and further behind. And this is where it gets really interesting. His critical conclusion is that because this bottom 60% is, in his words, unproductive, the entire economic engine is fragile. It's all resting on the shoulders of a small elite. It's a diagnosis that puts the blame squarely on the workforce itself. And to back this all up, he pulls out this one shocking stat, 54%. He points to this literacy number as a key reason for why this huge part of the population is supposedly not productive. And this chart? Wow. It shows you exactly what the result of this whole dynamic is. Since 2020, the wealth of the top 0.1%, that's 1/10 of 1%, has exploded by over $10 trillion. That's 5 times more than the growth for the entire bottom 50% combined. This gap isn't just wide, it's accelerating like crazy. Okay, so the problem's massive, right? So what's Dalio's big fix for the people in charge? How are we supposed to fix an economy that's this broken? His big idea? He's telling leaders to treat it like an engineering problem. You know, just a mechanical thing, not some messy ideological battle. Just pop the hood, turn a few wrenches, and rebalance the system. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Well, yeah, not so fast. But here's the thing. Calling this a mechanical problem isn't just a massive oversimplification. It's actually a really clever political move that serves a very specific and very powerful agenda. And this right here, this is the core of the problem with his whole argument. He is completely focused on the symptoms, like literacy rates, while totally ignoring the decades of deliberate policy choices that created this situation in the first place. I mean, look at these. These are the real gears of the machine. Tax rules, monopoly power, how we fund education. These are the systemic rules of the game that have been funneling wealth and productivity to the top for years. And yet, they are nowhere to be found in Dalio's so-called mechanical view of the world. You see what's happening here? It's a classic bait and switch. By framing this as a personal problem, a literacy problem, or a productivity problem, Dalio masterfully shifts the blame away from systemic policy failures and puts it right onto the individual worker. A political failure becomes a personal failing. So if this whole mechanical fix is just a smokescreen, you got to ask the most important question of all. Who actually wins from this story, and who loses? Yeah, the winners are, not exactly a surprise, are they? Wealth managers, like Dalio himself, elite investors, and the giant firms that make a killing from this kind of concentration. It also gives an easy out to politicians who'd rather not have a real fight. And the losers? Well, that's workers outside the tech hubs, entire regions of the country, and, the very idea of a functioning democracy. So let's get to the bottom line here. Let's strip away all that clean, technocratic language and talk about what's really going on. See, you can't just pop the hood and fix this with a wrench. Any real, meaningful change is going to be a fight. It's going to be messy, it's going to be political, and it's going to cost the people who benefit from the way things are right now. And that really leaves us with the one question we should all be asking ourselves. When the powerful propose these neat and tidy mechanical fixes that just happen to protect their own interests, what is the real cost of pretending this isn't a political battle for the soul of our economy? Hey, thanks for sticking with us. If you're into analysis that isn't afraid to call it like it is and challenge the official story, do us a favor, smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed to What the Tech. We'll see you next time.